So I wanted to show you how to navigate through the solar system folder. As always, you start with the learning targets. Learning targets say to relate that the rotation of the Earth day and night and apparent movements of the sun, moon, and stars are connected, to distinguish among the following objects in the solar system: the sun, the planets, moons, asteroids, comets, and identifying Earth's position in it, to recognize the major common characteristics of all planets, compare and contrast properties of inner and outer planets. You're going to know you're successful when you do these three things. You turn in your PowerPoint, you post a full planet fact on the forum, and you submit your arrangements of the planets quiz. Remember, you can see all the topics in this view, but once you click into weeks 6 through 7, you only see the assignments for these 2 weeks, so it kind of keeps it nice and chunked together. Let's start with the solar system PowerPoint. Right-click, open in a new tab. You've got a file down here on the bottom, two actually. It says Taking Aim Solar System PowerPoint. You may submit your final PowerPoint to your teacher. Remember to refer to the rubric before submitting it. If you need help making it all beautiful and wonderful and transition-y and lovely, please contact your teacher. You can also, if you don't like PowerPoint, if you want to submit a Prezi, you could do that. Or a Powtoon presentation, you could do that. Those kind of look like, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them, but they're kind of online super duper versions of PowerPoint. So if you want to, that's fine. It takes some learning to get good at these two things, but if you like learning new technology, I think that'd be good for you. At the bottom I posted some additional websites you could refer to if you wanted to learn more about planets. There's quite a bit in this section, but I know planets are kind of interesting, so these are good sites. Click on the files at the bottom of the page to see your PowerPoint. Remember, it pops up if you are in Mozilla, but if you're in Chrome, the files go to the very bottom of the screen down here. Oops, I downloaded it twice, oh well. Here's the PowerPoint you'll need to do. What I like to do for PowerPoints is I make a template, and then you just fill in the missing parts. It takes a second since I clicked it too many times. Harumph. Let me click on this too. Here's the planets right here. Alright, so what you'll do is you'll delete parts that don't have anything to do with you, and then you put your parts in their spot. Put your name here. This is Parody. There are questions on each slide. You may answer the questions next to or underneath each bullet. Please add an image to each slide. Please email your teacher if you want directions on how to add pizzazz to your PowerPoint. So you will, you have to enable editing before you change anything. Right here at the top it says enable editing. It means let the person edit it. That's why it wouldn't let me type my name. Goof. So you just get rid of what you don't want and you put in what you do want. Okay, next. What I would love for you to do, basically, is take the question and turn it into a sentence. Which planets are they? So you delete this part, and you'll say, the outer planets are blah, 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 and blah, blah. And you answer it that way. You might have to go to another line like that. Tell at least 2 things that make them similar. All the outer planets are the same because blah, 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 and you answer it that way. You might need to go to another line, and that's okay. Tell any interesting facts you learned. Outer planets all blah, 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 blah. Or you could tell an interesting fact you learned about one of the outer planets. This planet has 700 moons. I don't know. You pick your fact, whatever one you like. It says here, you must go to Google, type out outer planets, click search, click images, right-click on the image you want, click copy image, right-click in this screen, click paste, and then cover up these directions with your image. If you don't want to cover up the directions, you can just delete them like this and then paste an image in here. Remember, you need an image for each slide. Do the exact same thing, except now you're talking about inner planets. Which planets are they? The inner planets are and then you tell me what they are. Tell at least 2 things that make them similar. All inner planets are blah, 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 blah. Tell anything interesting you learned. You can just tell me something interesting you learned about one of the inner planets. That's fine. And then you add an image the same way. And then it goes on with asteroids, comets, meteors, moons, and moons if you need additional spots for your information. Remember, file, save as, and I like to save it on my desktop in a special folder called, and you did it earlier, so I hope it's still here, 5th grade science. Double click, planets, save. If you do it that way, you'll always know where it is, and that's helpful, because throughout this folder, you're going to need to go back to it. This here was also in the folder to download. It's your rubric. It says, to get an A on your PowerPoint, you need to answer all the questions in complete and understandable sentences. Do not copy and paste from anything. I know when you do it, and then I just send the PowerPoint back to you and make you do it again. Now, that's a waste of your time, and you don't need to do that. So do it right the first time. Please, please, please. So these are sentences you created, not sentences you borrowed from the internet or any other source. Only include real facts, have no spelling or punctuation errors, include 1 or more images per slide. That's super easy to get an A. Just don't steal people's work from the internet. Oh my goodness, don't do that. Alright, so that's how you do your PowerPoint, and you're probably wondering, how am I going to learn all this stuff to fill in my PowerPoint? Well, here we go. Right-click, open in a new tab. You've got a textbook lesson first. Remember to log into the textbook. You have to go in a whole new tab. Let's get rid of these. So click here to log in. I right-click, open in a new tab. And because last time I clicked Remember My School, all this stuff is remembered. Also, last time the browser asked me if I wanted to remember the login, and I said yeah. So it remembers Student 5, and it remembers Student 5 as the password. If you click Login, it won't let you. It's some weird glitch, and this is how you get around it. Click the space bar, and then click Backspace. Now it's going to let you. Login. We don't know where to go from here, so let's go back to Moodle and click Next. In this screen, you're now logged in, so it lets you see everything and how beautiful it is. It says click the buttons in this order, the solar system, and then click the triangle next to Lesson 1. Lesson 1. Perfect. You watch the lesson, you go through each number, and then here at the bottom you see the questions they're going to ask you later on. So, it says, tell one common trait of the outer planets. So what's one thing that all outer planets have in common? So you listen to each slide, and when the arrow illuminates, you click Next. You go through each of these slides before you get out of the lesson. I have it on mute, so you can't hear it, but when you're done, click the button. You have to put in the answer. Tell one common trait of all the other planets. You're actually going to type an answer because it's a grade, so don't dare type F, G, D, 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 B, yeah, type an answer because you're getting graded. Click Submit, and then you're done. Go back to your list, and you've just finished your first textbook lesson in the planets section. Now let's do some study jams. Right-click, open in a new tab. This one's a little different. It says you can view this activity in another window. Remember, you just right-click and open in a new tab, but really you can view it down here too. It's up to you. I want you to test yourself first to see which parts are easy and which parts are hard. So you ask yourself each of these questions. Which planet is the farthest from the sun? You click your answer and move on. Then once you get to the end of the test, it's going to show you which ones are right and which ones are wrong. That'll let you know what you're good at and what you need to research on the slideshow. So click Close once you're done with the test and you've seen which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong, and then click the slideshow. Watch the slideshow. It kind of times it out and lets you read all the facts and stuff. If you need to go back, you can click back on whatever slide you want to go back on. But find the answers to the questions you got wrong, and then click Close, and maybe take the test again so you can do well, because I borrow all these questions. Next. It says, which planet is the farthest from the sun? And if you get it wrong, it makes you do it again. So make sure you pay attention to the quiz. After your Study Jams lesson, you've got Submit Your PowerPoint, because these 2 lessons give you enough information to fill in all the information on that PowerPoint. And even if they don't, you can find whatever you're missing right here on these 3 websites. So hopefully you get what you need to fill in your PowerPoint, and then you right-click, open in a new tab, Submit Your PowerPoint. It says click here if you want to go back and look at your rubric. Hopefully you saved your rubric in the first place and you put it on your desktop. Add submission. And then if you're going to add your PowerPoint, you do it down here. It says add a file. You click upload a file, choose a file, and you click your desktop. That's where you save everything. 5th grade science, and you find it and click open. But yours is going to be done, hopefully. Upload this file. Mine's not done. I'm just showing you how to do it. And then save changes and submit. So that would be how you turn that in. Next, ordering these planets. Woohoo! Open in a new tab. I've got a fun video. After that, I've got a fun game. It says click here if you want to do it in another window. Practice a few times because you'll be quizzed on the order of the planets. So if you're not good at it at first, make sure you practice a couple times. You put them there. And then, when you're done, you click Show Answers to see if you're right. And if you're not, clear the board, try again. Okay? After that, click Done. Boop, boop, boop. You finished practicing the order of the planets. Order these planets. Now let's try this one. Open in a new tab. It says, some people have ways to remember the order of the planets. My very educated mother just served us nachos. Submit a different mnemonic device. This is called a mnemonic device. The beginning letters of each of these words match up with the beginning letters of each of the planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So can you come up with a sentence that has those letters just the way this one does? You watch this video. I have it on mute. Practice, practice, practice. Add submission. Submit your sentence that has the same letters in the beginning as Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and I keep on wanting to say Neptune. So submit a mnemonic device on this one. You can be a borrowed one from the internet. I don't mind. Whatever one helps you. After you submit your mnemonic device, right-click, open in a new tab. I want you to submit one cool thing you learned about the planets from these lessons. Then reply to someone else's post too. I've already posted something, so even if you just say, hey, I didn't know that. That's super interesting. That works for me. You have to post a cool fact, and you have to reply to someone else's cool fact to get a good grade on that one. Last, right-click, open in a new tab. You've got a quiz. No notes. You can use your mnemonic device. My very educated mother, if you remember a sentence, you can use that sentence. Attempt the quiz now. You've got to pick, you go and find first, which one's first. And you find the planet and you click on it. Which one's second? Find the planet and you click on it. Okay? When you're done, click next, and then you've got to submit all and finish. Once you submit, you can't take it back. So make sure you submit when you're sure. Remember, if you need any help, there are ways to contact me on this main page. You've got to start a Hangout. You could do that. You could email me. You could call me using this little button here. Follow these steps. Please let me know if you need help because I want you to do really, really well. Good luck.